I'm fed up of being in the doldrums. I'm fed up of not having faith. We got Arsenal next. And I'm not scared. I'm not scared around what's around the corner anymore. I'm not scared in terms of, oh my God, we're going to the Emirates. We're definitely going to lose. Word to Andrew Cole, like I keep saying. He told me, flex, believe. Win, lose, or draw, it don't matter. You got to keep believing. I did that against City, and I'm taking that into this Arsenal game. We can lose, we can draw. But guess what? We can also win. Exactly. Bang on. That is the notification saying you can win. You don't have to go there being a sitting duck all the time. Or at the very least, you can get a positive result. Why can't you? Mbumo, Dorgu, Ahmad, Bruno, let off the leash. Kobe Mainu back in the squad. Harry Maguire, strong. Leacher, strong. All I'm saying is, why can't we? And don't be scared. I've been scared every single year. And I'm not going into this game being scared. Let me know what you guys are saying in the chat. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. I'm not doing this whole, we're going to win every game. But what I am doing is, I have to believe. And I'm not even doing the Robbie believe. I'm not even just doing that. I'm just saying I'm fed up of being in the doldrums, of not being able to do, like, we have to manifest, bro. And it starts today. It's midweek. We now turn our attentions towards the Arsenal game and ramp it up and start to build towards it. I know how strong they are. We know how good they are. We know the record. We know. But we have to believe that we can change it. Otherwise, what's the point? You know, little Judge sort of me, like, you know what I mean, over the line could be, it could be a big appearance from a Judge sort of thing, like, right? Yeah, oh, yeah. Their manager isn't even permanent. Yeah, so maybe the Judge is going to be about
head coach. It's not a head coach. Head coach.
He's interim. He's interim, Robbie. Interim. Normally, my thing is we're definitely going to the Emirates, and obviously we're going to lose. I don't think that. I don't think we're going to lose at Emirates. I think we get a draw.
Yeah. You know I mean? Wow. KG, we're winning. We're winning.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And listen,
I don't always predict a win, by the way.
Yeah, that's fine. I think it will be a draw, but listen, like, exactly. I think we'll get a draw, but the win is like I've believed it more than I've ever believed it in ages. But it is a bit previewy because we will do this later on in the week. But just because you brought it up, what do you think the differences will be? What do we think the differences will be, sort of playing that City team versus going to the Emirates? I think the first thing will be players in between the lines immediately, because Odegaard will work in that space, and so will Rice. And, you know, Zubimendi is the deeper one. So those two instantly will be in between those little gaps we were trying to keep. So how would we react to Odegaard trying to get on the ball in those half spaces? That's be a plan for that. He likes to link up with Saka coming into that bit as well. So there's an instantly two big differences. Obviously, the set pieces and the physicality from the centre-backs and how they are with that. How do we deal with that?
Yeah.
You know, Arsenal will keep the ball probably more than us. So there's some similarities and there's some differences as well.
Yeah, there's similarities and differences. Arsenal are, I think, much more pragmatic than City, aren't they? You know what I mean? They
play with an inverted fullback that comes into midfield.
Yeah, they can be a lot more pragmatic. I think, even though one of City's better chances came from a set piece at Old Trafford after Lomans had, tipped it around the post when he didn't necessarily need to. Arsenal obviously posed much more of a threat from set pieces than City did at the weekend, which is something we'll have to contend with. And obviously, it's the obvious one. We're away from home. That you were there at Old Trafford. It was rocking, wasn't it? It was rocking from minute one when they were showing that level of intensity. They were up for it, and that's kind of symbiotic with the performance, isn't it? It matched the level. The crowd matched the level of energy that the players were given, and that relationship was strong. Obviously, being away from home, you're not going to get that, and you're going to have to ride tougher storms, which, I mean, one of the most shocking things at the weekend wasn't necessarily that we won or the manner of which we won. It's the fact we kept a clean sheet, wasn't it? We kept a clean sheet, and deservedly so. away at the Emirates, we're probably going to have to rely on Lomans a bit more to make some top saves, I think, and maybe get a bit of luck. But in terms of the overarching game plan, I suppose maybe not too much would change in that regard. It still will be, be on the transition. Maybe you can't press them as intensely because you're away as opposed to being at home. You're going to have to be a bit more pick your moments. Because when you're at home, you can go a bit hell for leather, can't you?
Because the crowd get after
away,
it,
Yeah,
you have to be a really confident team and a really well-oiled team. And you have to be used to operating at that level to really believe you can go away and go after someone. And that is interesting. Again, I know it's a bit previous, but like it will be interesting to see, like, because there should be some bit of it where you do take that confidence to shock Arsenal, to go after them a bit. But you got to get that balance of that Arsenal don't really like it when you sit in, you're compact, you keep your shape, you slot across the pitch side to side, and you spring quickly. So it is a different type of skill set. I agree.
Do you know what will be difficult for a lot of people, and I know you included, is that if that performance is replicated against Arsenal at the weekend and we get a similar result, like to go from finishing 15th last season, this season, our best bit of form was winning 3 games in a row, a couple of draws, to beating first and second, like home and away and dominating.
Yeah. That'll be a big statement.
We will lose
that
our
I can
minds.
Say.
As a collective, we will lose our minds.
That I can say as well. I could say that will lose my mind. I'll lose my mind. I'll be celebrating going crazy.
But you know what is nice? Going into that game at the weekend, and it's still a massive ask. Like our recent record at the Emirates is awful. Arsenal, they're going to win the league this season, what have you. But just to be able to go in that game and have a little bit of chest, not a lot, not huge, but just have a little bit of like. Yeah,
I'm believing. I'm believing, bro. We don't have to lose that
is
game.
Nice, isn't it? That is nice to be able to go into that.
And you know what? And it's a little bit previewish. We've got loads of content coming up with the Arsenal guys. You know what it is during that week when we play them. So look out later on this week. They've got international break. They've got Europe. They've got Champions League. For the first couple of days, so they're not back in and around it till about Wednesday. So from a Thursday onwards, you'll start seeing different bits of content coming through. But you guys know what I'm like every single year at the Emirates. You know, like me on a personal, like what it does to me, how I approach it, and I've never been wrong once, to be honest, because I ain't won there since doing this.
From last year.
Oh yeah, in the FA Cup, which to be fair, in the league I haven't. In the FA Cup, which is, and then you saw the celebrations. I was posting up Kai Havertz t-shirts. I was, he was a disgrace that game. All of that stuff. But you're right, Owen. This time I don't care. No, I do believe. And when you look at Arsenal, they're obviously very good, the best, but they're not free flowing at the minute. They're not creating loads of chances against most teams. There's a bit of the league. I know the same way the league's a bit thing for us, where everyone around that area and 4th to 8th can thing. It's the same with like 1st and 2nd a bit. Like Arsenal are not outstanding, but City can't really get it together.
Yeah, you can get it.
You can get at Arsenal. Well, they don't. It's not like they're conceding loads of goals, but don't. It's not that they get after every team like they would like to with how good they are, and that's becoming a bit of a frustrating figure for them. And in the big games at home. Let's be honest, they drew 0-0 against Liverpool, underwhelming. They drew 1-1 against Man City, underwhelming. Obviously, they destroyed Tottenham. Tottenham don't count. But, there's a way where you can nullify them and frustrate the crowd and nick a draw. And we can do it. We can do it.
I mean, I mentioned this in the full-time view on Saturday, is I think it does a disservice to the players, the Man United players, and Michael Carrick just to kind of swipe away of, but you played counter-attack against Man City, that's why you won, because it was so much more than just playing on the break or playing in transition. We had a lot less of the ball. That first goal was a counter-attack goal. For some reason, counter-attack's like a bad phrase to use in football, but it was way more than that. It was aggressiveness. We were all over them in terms of pressing, tackles, winning the ball back high up the pitch, blocks, interceptions. So I don't really look at that as just, counter-attack. I look at it having a game plan and then being able to motivate the players to execute it, and they executed it perfectly. So Arsenal, they'll do the same. At the weekend, they'll probably have more of the ball and be looking for spaces. Obviously, they'll be playing, on their set pieces. They're very good at set pieces. and we'll try and hit them on the break. Or when we do get the ball and win it in certain places, it's quite direct. Switch of play, who I did not think Patrick Dorgu had a switch of play at him, but
No,
fuck
not
me,
like
did
that.
he had a switch of play at him. Unbelievable. Yeah. And then also, now we've got some people to come off the bench that can make a difference. Mateus Cunha, those were really criticizing the last few games. Oh, he's not creative enough. He nearly had 2 assists at the weekend.
This was Manchester City at home. You had Michael Carrick, who's won 5 Premier Leagues, coming in 3 days. And, you know, like Martinez was saying, he goes, it was unbelievable. The coaching staff, all of them, what they've done for us in 3 days. But this is where the criminality can be proved or disproved again of, do we never see that again? If we go to Arsenal and get stuffed and we see nothing like it, we can go there and see something like it and still lose. But if we go there and see nothing like it, go out on a whimper, didn't create, didn't run after him, didn't show any confidence, then you go, you idiots. Like you know, then Fulham at home, if it's tight and laboured, like if it's like how we would have expected to play against Fulham before, then you go, right, so the players just...
That's really the one, isn't it? I mean,
you know what I mean?
It is true when you go, you know, as of now, you know, City and Arsenal, maybe they're not necessarily the best barometers because you can get up for big games and, you know, that sort of stuff for derbies. If we play Fulham at home, we beat them convincingly, you know, then that's when you go, all right, they have tuned into something a little bit different. They're getting a level of consistency that, you know, prior people weren't getting before. Because like I said, the other part of it is, obviously we talk about Ruben, but even Fletcher, when he came in for those couple of games, there's not much he can do, granted, but he couldn't make that dramatic difference that Michael Carrick and his coaching staff made in 3 days.